All right, hi everyone. Can everyone hear me okay? I think you have to put your headphones on. Yeah. All right, good? Everyone can hear perfect. Thanks so much for joining today's session and coming to day 2. Today I'm going to talk about turning trust into revenue, 5 key insights for maximising ROI. I'm Steph Gillies, Marketing Director at Trustpilot. I've got quite a lot of stats through this deck, so feel free to take any photos you would like as well. So like I said, we're going to start by talking about trust. It's a bit of a big term and one that we probably use more in our personal lives than actually in business as well. So we're going to talk about why trust is so important. We're then going to go into the 5 key insights, and then we're going to talk about why reviews as well. And then I'm going to leave some time for questions at the end as well. Before I start, who uses Trustpilot? Who has written a review? Yeah, cool. And then from a business perspective, who uses Trustpilot for business? Wonderful, good. All right, so let's start about trust. It's a bit of a big, lofty concept, I guess, trust, right? Where do you begin with measuring, defining trust, talking about trust? Like I said, we often use it more in our kind of personal relationships. I trust my friend, I trust my colleague, but we often don't talk about it in terms of business sense. Like I trust my bank or I trust my local retailer, stuff like that. So we're going to go into why trust is so important and why every business should care about building trust, thinking about the trust signals that you should implement in your business, and then how do you actually start to measure it? So how do you talk about it back in your business? So I don't need to state this, but we know that we're in a crowded market, right? We've got more competitors popping up. We've got, issues with supply chain, cost of living crisis, all of that. So this is why trust is really important. We know that 71% of customers say it's more important to trust a brand today than ever before. So how do they know who to buy from? Almost 60% say they'll are more likely to purchase a product from a brand they actually trust, and that it actually drives loyalty and advocacy as well. So you can see the common theme through here is all about trust. And they're kind of stats that are really hard to ignore, especially if you're looking to differentiate yourself in the market. And we also know that, 82% of UK consumers look at trust scores, and that is an indicator for them to trust a brand. But we have a bit of a problem, though, with a trust gap. So consumers know trust is important, right? We're all consumers as well. We buy from people that we trust. We buy from brands that we know that will deliver. But also businesses want to build trust because from the stats I just showed, we know that it can drive business outcomes. But we have a bit of a trust gap. And that is the difference of perception between what businesses think in terms of their customers trusting and actually customers trusting that brand. And you can see here a recent survey that was done this year, that there's about a 60 percentage point difference in that variation between that perception. And I guess it's really surprising when we think about that I think as business leaders, we often look at VOC surveys, we'll have reports, we might dip in with call listening. But I have a think of is that really building trust, right? Or is that just kind of something that we just have to do as businesses? But how do we actually really deep dive into, what are customers saying, what do they think about, and how are we improving our business? So we have a decline in trust in the UK. If you haven't had a chance to look at the Edelman Trust Barometer or the Trust Barometer, highly recommend you go away and download this. I think it's released once a year, and it doesn't just look at the UK, but looks at Europe, rest of the world as well. And it's really interesting that we actually have a growing distrust of traditional and social media in the UK, and we're actually the lowest level within Europe. Less than 1 in 3 people have faith in the media. It's probably maybe not surprising. I mean, we've got the rise of news, the proliferation of news, social media channels as well. It's hard to know. I mean, every time I go on a social media channel, I'm seeing an ad to buy something, and I don't know whether I can trust it. I Google it, and I go through a loop, right, to know exactly where to go. So it's interesting that this just keeps declining in the UK. And now consumers are actually turning to family and friends. So that's actually now the number one place that consumers go to make decisions. I mean, I do. I'm sure you all do as buyers as well. Interestingly, the second place that they go to is review sites as well. So not only are they going to family, friends asking, where did you buy this from? Or what do you think of this brand? But they're also then seeking out user-generated content a lot more than they ever have before. And actually 89% of consumers are reading reviews before making a purchase. So we know exactly how critical it is as part of their customer journey. And I guess that's kind of where reviews come into play. So just to kind of give you a scale of what do I mean by it's the second kind of channel that users go to when kind of finding trusted sources of information. 1.2 billion searches came up every month, right? So this is a consumer typing your brand reviews, right? And that's showing 1.2 billion times. And 104 billion impressions on widgets. So this is if you put review content on your website or your social channels, that is driving that level of impressions. So we know how critical this is for consumers. We know how important it is as a channel. But I guess, how do you measure trust, right? Like I said, it's a bit of a lofty, big term. It's hard to know, how do you talk about that in your business? How do you get people to care about it? And then how do you actually go about doing that as well? So I'm going to go through 5 steps now. Some of it you're probably already doing, so it might just be an amplification of what you're doing. So some of it's through marketing channels that you can just make small little tweaks to. Some of it will be new stuff as well. And we've done a lot of research. We've worked with a lot of clients on this as well. So I'm going to kind of put some client kind of case studies in there as well to show it. But hopefully this is something that you can just go back to your business and kind of amplify your existing plans or your existing strategies with. So your first step of kind of building trust and measuring trust is all about increasing your trust score. We know that 82% of UK consumers look at a good trust score and they know that they can trust that brand. 89% of UK consumers also read reviews before making a purchase. So this is actually really important, your trust score. But how do you go about increasing it? You want to start inviting people, right? It sounds really simple, but you want to have a think through the customer journey and you want to pinpoint that exact moment you want to invite customers. So if they're making a purchase, say, in store, you might want to send it out the day after, right? So they've used it, you want to send out the review invitation the day after. If they're buying online, you might want to send it out, say, 5 days after to allow for shipping time, right? So you want to kind of map out your customer journey and then place that and have a think, where does it make the most sense? We know that, I mean, I do it as a consumer. I don't always go and leave a review for a brand I love. I probably more do it for when I'm disgruntled or I hate something. So you kind of want to balance that out, right? And when people are asked to leave a review, they actually do it. So that companies that actively invite their customers have a higher trust score compared to those that just rely on people going and leaving a review, what we call organic reviews. And you want to have that balance of verified reviews and not just organic. And that kind of is a trust signal for consumers when they're looking at review sites to know that they can trust the reviews that were left there. An example is H&B. I kind of like this example because they went from a trust score of about 1.5 and now they're about 4.6. They actually quadrupled like pretty much overnight. It's no exaggeration of their profile with us. They kind of had it just sitting there like inactive in the background. Mainly organic reviews were being left as well. Working with them, they kind of knew that they had to increase their trust signals as well. They were looking at how do they amplify their brand in the UK, how do they relaunch as well. And they proactively went to go invite every single customer. So they did that after purchase. They pretty much went to 700 plus reviews every week they were getting. They went to a trust score of 4.6, and now they've got 90,000 reviews as well that they can pull from. They now use that on their website. You can see here, when people search H&V reviews, they use it in search. So they use it throughout their marketing channels now because it's become such an important channel for them to demonstrate that people can trust them, people can buy from them as well. So what we want to do is we want to invite every customer to leave a review, like I said. This is really important. You don't want to cherry pick. You want to have an open and transparent approach to reviews as well. So 88% of all companies that introduce automation actually increase their trust score as well in 2023. So what you want to do is you want to encourage everyone to leave a review. So you want to encourage your happy clients, maybe your disgruntled clients to leave a review as well. You want that balance of insight that will help improve your business. You want to prevent cherry picking. So you want to make sure that everyone gets a chance to leave a review as well. It generates more verified reviews, and verified reviews are really important for your business in terms of Google seller ratings as well. And if you want to learn more about Google seller ratings, we have a whole team at the stand that can talk to you about how to get those and then how to harness them in your business. And then it drives higher level of review volume. And why you want a higher trust score is then you can start to use it in your marketing as well. You can actually start to amplify it on your website, your social channels, all through the customer journey. So step 3 is then you want to engage with your feedback. It's all good to collect feedback and have it sit there and look pretty and have a really high trust score, but you want to acknowledge it. You want to say thank you to your customers for leaving reviews. It's also a really valuable source of insight for your business in terms of improving your business strategy, improving your products, your service, your whole entire offering. We'll talk about that a bit later. But it's interesting that 64% of consumers would prefer to buy from a responsive company than one that appears perfect. So you want the mix of good and bad feedback as well, right? That's like, think about it. Like, I don't like it when I go on and just see all 5 stars, right? It maybe seems a little disingenuous, but you want to see that mix of reviews. You want to see them engaging. Customers expect to see a response now in 2 to 3 days, so we encourage you to respond to reviews and acknowledge them. It's a way of showing you appreciate your customers' feedback and you want to take it on and seriously. It shows to other people as well that you've read the review, and say if it's a negative review, that you've actually acted on it as well. So it shows, again, it's building that trust signal to other consumers. And we know that reviews do influence buying behavior as well. So it's really important to engage with them. And that's also, we've seen brands that pull together reports and send it internally to their management, to their C-suite as well, about trending topics. So we've had clients that, through their feedback, have learned that shipping was an issue. So that there was delays in shipping. They had no idea about it until they got the reviews. That then prompted them to switch companies, and then they saw that change in the reviews. They also then replied to every review about that company, they've then replied to all the reviews that mentioned shipping to say, thank you, we've now changed it. And it really engaged customers on a whole nother level there as well. So have a think about then, how do you use the insights and the content? So then step 4 is about accelerating your conversions. And this is where you can really have some fun and you can start to measure trust as well. It's also where you can start to demonstrate and showcase these trust signals along the customer journey. What I like to do is map out the customer journey and think through the touch points. So think through where a potential drop-off, where's potential issues within the customer journey as well, and then start to think, okay, how can I put social proof or the trust signals throughout that? So you might think, okay, I'm going to put it on the home page, I'm going to put it on the cart page, or I'm going to put it on product pages as well, because we know we have drop-offs there. And we're going to put, maybe reviews about how quick the shipping was on the cart, like on the kind of checkout page, because people are kind of concerned about that. And we know that that will help trigger and improve conversions. So we've done a lot of work around what benefits it has in terms of your marketing, in terms of your customer journey, in terms of attracting and keeping customers loyal as well. So this is where I'm hoping that these are like the more practical tips that you can take back into your business. So let's start with website and social. So it's really interesting. By adding, I'll move over here so everyone can take some photos, but it's really interesting that by adding your reviews onto your social media tiles or ads, actually we see 73% of consumers are more likely to click on that ad just by adding that social proof. So it's super simple, doesn't change like the look and feel too much, it doesn't go against branding too much as well. But we all know through website and social, we want to increase click-throughs. UK consumers as well are 34 times more likely to click when it's Trustpilot. And we often see when you put it on your website, we see an average increase in online conversions of 23%. So you're already kind of investing in your website, you're investing in social as well. So again, these are just small practical tips. This doesn't take long to change an ad to put your review content on. But this is why you want to increase your trust score. This is why you want to start engaging with feedback as well. So you have good reviews, you have a good trust score that you can display on your ad. So let's talk about search. I mean, most of us probably invest in search marketing. So again, super easy. You can see with the GoDaddy example, they've got their ratings and reviews there as well. It actually kind of increases click-through rate by 10% is what we're seeing on paid search content. We're also seeing on paid and organic search an increase of 30% average uplift in clicks. So again, like if you're investing in search, we want to look at cost per lead, cost per click. We want to drive volume. This is a really simple way to do that. And then think through TV. We recently did a study with Kantar about the impact of trust on TV ads. Are UK consumers more likely to trust a TV ad with reviews and ratings versus not? So we did a study with them. And I mean, I've invested in TV before, and when I saw a 1 percentage point increase, I was very excited and loved it. So getting these results is massive. What we saw, so we looked at 4 different industries, 4 different UK-based companies as well. And what we saw was levels of brand confidence increased by 8 percentage points, trust increased by 7 percentage points, and the likelihood to buy increased by 8 percentage points as well, which is massive if you're investing in TV. AO is a great example of this. They've worked for many years to build up their Trustpilot profile, to collect reviews. They now showcase it on all of their website, TV, social media. They actually call themselves the UK's most trusted major electrical retailer based on their Trustpilot reviews as well. You can see here the stats that brand confidence in AO increased by 4 percentage points. And it actually increased by 10 percentage points in the 35 to 64 market as well, year-old market. And then we also saw trust-seeking mentality also increase. So then what you want to do, the last step, is use your insights to inform your strategy. So we know insight-driven businesses grow at an average of 30% per year. So what you can do is take the sentiment from your reviews and look at the common themes. So is there issues with product, right? Is there a quality issue that you weren't aware of? You can then feed that back into your product development team. Is there shipping? Is it an issue with like the forms on your website? So take that back and learn from it as well. The best businesses work with us to use the sentiment that they collect in reviews to go back to their businesses, back internally to make changes. So that's the 5 insights. I'm hoping that's very useful and that you can take some of that back into your business. I think, like I said, the marketing piece is the fun, easy one where you can add it to your paid social, your website, and actually see a dramatic increase. You can A/B split test it as well to see the difference between review content and not review content as well. But it all starts with inviting your customers and increasing your trust score. So I'll just kind of recap this, and then we'll go to questions because I think I'm like nearly at time. So start with increasing your online star rating. Invite every customer, super important. Automate it so you don't forget. Engage with customer feedback. So use it, harness it, reply to customers as well. Accelerate your social media, your website, your marketing channels with the social proof. And then use the insight to improve your business strategy as well. And we can work, I know there was a lot of people using Trustpilot already. We can work with you on this. Highly recommend you come visit the team at our stand. We can talk through Google seller ratings. We can talk about the best way to respond to every review, how to kind of use it on your social media channels as well. So I'm not going to go into this too much because I want to leave time for any questions. But I guess why Trustpilot? We work with businesses to build trust, grow and improve your business. We're in the top 1% of websites visited globally. We have plus 50 million visitors per month. So we've got a lot of traffic to our website and a lot of traffic looking at your brands. And that we have, actually now it's over 300 million reviews left on Trustpilot globally as well. I'm going to leave it there in case there's any questions. More than happy to answer anything to do with what I presented or how to kind of get started. Sorry. I think there's a mic coming around as well.
Hi, thank you so much for the presentation.
That's okay.
So I work for a company it's a small SME that provides software for businesses. And I wonder to what extent trying to implement this for us would be advantageous, because the examples that you gave, which are retail and they go to customers, are prime examples.
Yeah.
That has the scope for tens of thousands of reviews, but I guess for us we'll probably have less than 100 max, and then it's also going to be businesses which might not be as inclined to want to leave a review as a business.
Yeah.
So what is there a way that we can try and leverage this, or is it not as applicable to us?
No, 100%. We have a lot of businesses that are service-based, technology-based, B2B-based as well. It's not about necessarily having hundreds of thousands of reviews. It depends on your business. But I would, again, start asking your customers to leave a review once they've kind of purchased. I mean, I know when I buy tech a lot at Trustpilot, I ask my peers, I ask other marketers, and I also actually do reviews as well when I'm buying mainly tech products or platforms. I'd get started. I think this applies to everyone. There were e-commerce retail examples, but we have a lot of case studies on B2B technology clients as well that I'm happy to send you. Yeah, I'll connect with you after. I'll get your details. Any other questions? Yeah.
Would you say it's as important to reply to positive reviews than negative reviews?
Yeah, we recommend you reply to all. I think a positive review, it can be as simple as thank you for leaving the feedback. A lot of people might kind of call out certain teams. Again, it just shows that you're kind of appreciating your customers and showing thank you for taking the time to leave this. Thank you for sharing this. It's about building that kind of customer connection and customer love. So we say try and respond to every review. Any other final questions? Yes.
Thanks. What's the brand recognition of Trustpilot for consumers who...
Sorry, I have to stand closer to it so I can hear you.
What's the brand recognition of Trustpilot in the UK?
Yeah, it's fun. So I can't share exactly our figures, being a public company, but we are the most recognised review platform in the UK. We have a really high consumer awareness I think this kind of says it here that we're in the top 1% globally and how many visitors we get. UK is our biggest market as well in terms of number of reviews left, number of consumers going to our website daily.
Thank you.
Anything else? I think we have 1 minute left. Or time for one last question, I think that was. Wonderful. I think that's everything. I'm around now if you want to have a chat. I'll be here. Otherwise, I will be at the Trustpilot booth this afternoon. I'm more than happy to have a chat. Thank you so much for coming. Really appreciate it.